What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So today we are going to be doing the horoscope of my main girl, Katrina Kaif. Yes, the beautiful, hot, luscious, desirable Katrina Kaif. As if you don't know, she's like the number one actress in Indian film industry right now. Okay, so if you search her name, you'll know why. Okay, so today we're going to be doing her horoscope because a lot of you were saying, hey, do her horoscope, and you were giving me other people too. So I'm just looking around her horoscope and I found something very interesting. So, and today horoscope is going to reveal not only some of the things about her, but why they occurred and some secret things that, you know, I might not have shown you so much in my astrological analysis. So today you're going to find out some of the secrets of why she became how she became and why, who, what, when, or why. Okay, so let's get started. Well, so Katrina Kaif was born on July 16th, 1984 at 6:19 p.m. in Hong Kong. And if you see her chart, she's a Sagittarius rising according to this birthday. Okay, and her Jupiter is retrograde in the ascendant. Okay, she has moon in the sign of Aquarius in the third house, in the house of media. Okay, and Rahu is in the sign of Taurus in the sixth house. Mercury, Sun, and Venus are in the eighth house in the sign of Cancer. Then you have Saturn and Mars in the sign of Libra in the 11th house of gains and, you know, of all sorts of hopes and wishes. And then in the 12th house you have Ketu in the sign of Scorpio in the 12th house. Okay, so this is our main birth chart. And a lot of people are wondering, how can this person become an actress and model? Where if I was to see this chart, you know, or anybody else would be like, hey, if I was to see the chart according to the most basic perspective, I would be like, hey, this person is going to be a lawyer. This person is going to go into engineering. This person is going to might be a biologist. Okay, absolutely a traditional horoscope regarding education. But there are certain things that people just seem to miss, or a lot of astrologers seem to miss. Okay, so that's what we're going to discuss today in the main birth chart, and I'm going to go into the divisional charts too. Well, first of all, why did Katrina Kaif became an actress, a model, a media person? And this has nothing to do in her chart. Okay, in her chart, there's hardly any evidence of that as to why she went into this industry. First of all, she's running the Jupiter period. Jupiter is in the sign of Sagittarius, right? In the ascendant. So how can media industry be possible? Well, first of all, if you remember my video of wealth and career through Hora on YouTube, you can search it and watch that video. If you look at her Hora planet, she was born at 6:30 or around 6:30 in the evening. It was around sunset time. That means Mercury becomes strong. Mercury is her wealth collecting planet. Okay, Mercury is about communication. Mercury is in conjunction with Sun and Venus. Mercury is now becoming all about, you know, creativity. But we don't look at Mercury to see how her wealth is going to come. We look at the sign where Mercury is placed. Mercury is placed in the sign of Cancer, which is controlled by who? Moon. And one of the significator of Moon is creativity, artisticness. Okay, and Moon is where? Moon is in the third house, in the house of media, in the house of journalism, hobbies, skills, working with your hands, working with your body. And then if you want to go even further, Moon is in the sign of Aquarius. Who is the Lord of Aquarius? Rahu and Saturn, both of which are sitting in the sign of Venus. And Venus is a significator of cinema, of acting, of art, of culture, of painting, artistic talent. This is why her wealth came through where Moon was placed. Her Moon gave her the wealth through media, through access of media. Then, why is it that her career took off in the period of Jupiter, in Mahadasha of Jupiter? Mahadasha means she's running through a period of Jupiter for 16 years, starting 2000. Well, first of all, Jupiter is retrograde. And if you watched my video yesterday from Shatpala, what did I say about retrograde planets? They go against the social norm. If you saw that in the writing on my video, they go against the social norm. They kind of like challenge what society has to offer. Jupiter, being the significator of education and of knowledge, went against the traditional way of going for knowledge and going for education. And as you saw, her education was stopped because of modeling, because of acting, because of her cinema career. Mainly started out with modeling. And then Jupiter from the the ascendant aspects the fifth house, which is again another house of media, another house of cinema, performing arts. But let's go even further. What is it in Jupiter Mahadasha that made her an actor? Why did her fame come in Jupiter Mahadasha? Why? Look for it at a deeper level, because Jupiter is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius has nothing to do with art. It has nothing to do with cinema. It has nothing to do with performing arts. Second, Jupiter is in the nakshatra of Ketu, Mula nakshatra. And Ketu is in the 12th house in the sign of Scorpio. Has no relation with cinema. Has no relation to performing arts. But then you forget something, and a lot of people forget this. She is running through the Mahadasha of her ascendant Lord planet. Okay? She's running through the Mahadasha of her ascendant Lord planet. So Jupiter is her ascendant Lord in the ascendant. But guess what? If you have been on my channel before, the nakshatra of the ascendant is also very important. So when you're running through the Mahadasha of the ascendant Lord, look what nakshatra the ascendant is placed in. The ascendant is placed in Purva Ashada nakshatra, ruled by Venus. Okay? This nakshatra is ruled by Venus. And so what the ascendant started doing, and what it helped when it activated itself, it started acting like Venus. It started becoming more about art, more about cinema, more about artistic talent, more about love and relationship. So this is why she ended up where she ended up. And if you look at it, Saturn and Mars, who are in a planetary war in the 11th house, directly look at the 5th house. Now, this is a very strong indication of an engineer if you look at it on the 5th house of education. But the reason why it also brought her into this cinema world, because they're in the sign of Venus. And then the Venus is in the 8th house, sitting with Mercury, her wealth lord, her Hora lord. Okay? So that's one side of Katrina Kaif's horoscope as to why she became a cinema #1 actress in Bollywood. Okay, the next unique thing I'm going to discuss is her relationship with father and her relationship with men in general. Relationship as in, love relationship, romantic relationship, and why her absence of father was there. Now, one thing to understand is that her Jupiter is retrograde. It's going against the social normalities of things. And it's in the nakshatra of Ketu. And Ketu, it's about detachment. Ketu, it's about letting go of material things, material relationship. It takes you away from them. Okay? And it's sitting in the 12th house in Scorpio, in foreign lands, isolation, and separation from things. Okay? So here's one secret thing that probably nobody has detected, which I can detect. Okay? And she probably knows this too. She's very much into astrology right now. She's into astrology, she's into numerology, she's into feng shui, she's into all sorts of these things. She loves that. Ever since her Jupiter Mahadasha started, her interest has gone into it. Okay, she has done things according to these things. I try to search for it if she's into these things. Nothing popped up on Google except people doing her horoscope. But I can easily say that in this Jupiter Mahadasha, she's really inclined towards Ketu things, which is about occult science, which is also about spirituality, which is about, getting away from things. But the reason why she's not forced to be in performance arts, why she's doing cinema and acting, is because her ascendant lord dasha is active, and the ascendant lord is sitting in the ascendant. That's another indication of fame. When you yourself, when that ascendant lord is sitting right there, everybody's looking at you. Okay, so anytime ascendant lord is in the ascendant, 5th house, 7th house, 10th house, it shows a lot of fame in a person's life. But if you look at her Namansha chart right now, look at her Namansha chart. And the reason why I'm going to say this is that her Namansha changes within 5 minutes. Okay, in 5 minutes before her Namansha changes, it goes into Virgo Namansha. But according to this time of birth, this is her Namansha. Namansha chart, the divisional chart in astrology, is related to spouse and marriage. Okay, so now look at her 7th house. 7th house has all the malefic aspects on itself. First, Ketu aspects the 7th house from the ascendant. Then you have Mars and Rahu sitting in the 7th house. Then you have Saturn in from the 5th house looking at the 7th house. So that first of all delays her marriage. Aspect of Saturn. Second, in the birth chart, if you notice, Saturn aspects the Karka, the significator of marriage, Venus, from the 11th house. Okay, it aspects the 7th lord and the Karka of the 7th house Venus in the 8th house. And then retrograde Jupiter is again going against the social norm of marriage. Jupiter is saying like, marriage, well, it's not going to happen in a traditional way, that's for sure. Jupiter is not going to give her a traditional type of marriage. She's going to marry somebody outside of her caste, outside of her religion, outside of her, demographic. And if you notice, Rahu is in the 7th house in the Namansha chart with Mars in the sign of Aries. So she runs into a lot of hot-headed men. Because again, if you watch my Mars and Aries video, you'll know why. And Rahu is sitting there amplifying Mars's energy. So anytime she gets into a relationship with men, there's all sorts of turmoil and disagreements, and men are very aggressive towards her, become very controlling of her. Because Mars in the 7th house and Rahu are looking at the ascendant. So Mars in the 7th is influencing her body. So Mars is controlling her. Okay? And then there's no positive aspect there, according to this Namansha. So there's no Jupiter aspect or Venus aspect. This is why if she marries late, she'll have the best marriage. If she marries after 36, she'll have the best marriage possible. Okay? So that's the thing, because Saturn and Mars are both in their own sign, meaning they're protecting the significance of their houses. So Mars protects his 7th house. Even though he's aggressive, he's saying ultimately, I'm going to protect this house, no matter who's here. Second, Saturn aspects the 7th house. Whenever Saturn aspects the 7th house, he'll delay it, but he prolongs the things related to this aspect. So he's making a marriage very long lasting. Okay, but Ketu and Rahu aspect, these nodes are what's causing these friction with men, the troubling with men. Now we go to another aspect in her life, which is her father. Why is her relationship with the father was always distant, was never there? If you go back to her horoscope, Sun is at 0.22 degrees in the 8th house, house of death, house of transformation, house of sudden ups and downs. So not only Sun is in the 8th house, first of all, but Sun is what's called a Sandhi Sun, meaning that it's below 1 degrees, it's really weak. And then if you notice, Ketu from the 8th house aspects the Sun. And Ketu is about what? Separation, bringing separation from things. So it brought separation from the father. Then let's look at another way. How do you judge a final analysis of a relationship with the parents? You go to the divisional charts that represents the relationship with the parents, which is Dadwamsa chart. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Dadwamsa chart. Look at that. Sun is in the ascendant in Cancer. Very good Sun. Okay. But you forgot. Ketu aspects the Sun in the ascendant from the 9th house. Okay. And Mercury is debilitated in the ninth house. And it's in conjunction with Ketu. So he's also molding the effects of Ketu. Second, whenever you look at the Dwadamsha chart, look at the ninth house and the 10th house, both. Because ninth house is the house of your father's teachings. What your father has taught you. Has he taught you anything? And 10th house is your actual relationship with the father. Was it good? Was it bad? So look at this now. Ketu is in the ninth house with debilitated Mercury, aspecting the sun, Ketu. Then 10th house has debilitated Saturn. And debilitated Saturn is causing this sudden friction with the father. Now, although Jupiter is there and Venus aspects Saturn, gives him Neech Bhang Raj Yoga. But remember, Neech Bhang Raj Yoga is only good for profession. Personal life, it's always going to screw you. So Saturn being there debilitated, and then Ketu aspect on father separated her from her father. But I do not really think her father hates her. Her father does not hate her. And here's another thing. If father ever approaches Katrina Kaif, Katrina will embrace it. Katrina is very emotional about her father. Because of the fact in her birth chart and Dwadamsha chart, sun is in the sign of Cancer. And both times moon is well placed. Now I could go on and on about all the things that have happened, which will take another like 50-60 minutes. So I don't want to do that, but I just wanted to give these basic things as to her love relationships, her father, and her career in modeling and cinema, and why did it really happen. It's not because of the basic things of astrology. It's about those little secrets that too many people do not know. I know. That's why I've been able to tell you that. All right. So guys, this is my analysis of Katrina Kaif's horoscope. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below because I'll be doing your favorite star next time. And if you want to know about all these things and want to know about your career and wealth hora and your career secret hora planets, check out the link below in the description section and check out my books there, Astrology at the Speed of Light and Conjunction at the Speed of Light. And when you get these books, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. Just make sure you follow the directions below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.